Hey, everybody. If you like Kyokushin Karate, martial arts, MMA, combat sports, ice hockey, make sure to hit the like, share, subscribe, and comment button on the Drew Experience podcast. And with that, this is the Drew Experience show, the show that's 80% combat sports and 20% everything else. I know I said 50% last for both, but you know what? 80-20 is better. The show is brought to you by a few things: KRT Tips and Tricks with Senseis Wesley Jensen and Darren Stringer, Kyokushin Shuffle podcast with Patrick Pinto, and of course, the most important martial arts book of our generation, The Budo Karate of Mas Oyama by Shian Cameron Quinn, Sosai's interpreter, who made a second edition of the first book to teach everybody about Kyokushin, but also the value of martial arts. Available online where books are sold. And of course, lastly, the show is also brought to you by Moments Management, where if you're an up-and-coming MMA fighter, pro fighter in general, Nima Safapur and his team will take care of you and show you the ins and outs of the fight game and how to make sure you enter it, succeed, and leave with wealth. Moments Management, where quality comes first. Oh, you know, and there's one last more. The Martial Way blog with Scott Heaney and the show Real Talk with Shian Terry, who talk about Kyokushin and anything karate. And with that, my guest today is a very big one. I've been keeping this one a very big secret from everybody. He is a representative of Kyokushin. He is the first Kyokushin practitioner that has entered into Karate Combat, the new karate style league that they do pit fighting. And I refused to watch Karate Combat until I saw Kyokushin, since there was the other styles. I'm very honored to have with me Max Ethers. Well, and not only that, he's ex-military. The man's a monk. This guy's story is straight out of a movie. So once again, I'm going to have to say this. Welcome, Max, to the show. It's such a pleasure to have you finally.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure, too.
How's it going? Are you in Thailand or you're back in Germany right now? Where are you?
I'm in Thailand. I'm in Thailand since almost 2 years. So I'm not in a hurry to go back to Germany.
I don't blame you. I think I would want to stay in Thailand, too, with how kind of everything relaxed is. What's your story? Like, how did you discover Kyokushin? Because not only did you do Kyokushin, you're very well versed in other martial arts, like that, and so it shows how open-minded you are.
Yeah. So I go with the flow because in Germany, Kyokushin is not popular at all. It's almost non-existent. You know, it's like I never got in touch with that. You know, because I started already in the year 1999 with karate. And it's dominantly Shotokan karate. So it's very little, even other styles, even other Ryu styles, and everything is sports karate based in Germany. So yeah, I did what was cool at the time, and it was not judo, it was karate, you know. So that's why I started Shotokan in a very traditional way, where you was also kind of an interpretation. It was called Fudokan. But it was Shotokan with 2 different katas, so it's like basically the same. But the master was very into in-depth analysis of the technique and talking a lot about the technique, but not real actual fighting, you know. And this was the missing part. So I wanted to fight, and I wanted to fight serious. So the level of Shotokan, or like sports karate, was way higher than this level. So I went there. Went in the WKF and was practicing there a lot. And then I reached a level where I couldn't progress anymore. What I'm gonna do? I start kickboxing, you know. I wanted to come further and further. And yeah, at the end of the day, 2016, I wanted to find myself in a journey to Australia. And you know for sure from Cameron that the Kyokushin scene is quite big in Australia. So I came in touch with a dojo who looked for a coach, for a trainer for karate there as a full-time position. So I went to Australia without any clue what I'm gonna do. I thought probably construction or something. Then I looked up an app called Gumtree, where you see any kind of products and services. And then they were looking for a karate teacher, full-time position. I thought, yeah, nice, I'm gonna get this job. And this is how it was. And then I came in touch with Kyokushin.
That's amazing, considering that in Germany it wasn't popular. And it's funny because you think of Europe, it's a Kyokushin hotbed. But when you go to Australia, which is true, Kyokushin is very big in Australia since it's so close to Japan. And plus, because of Shian Cameron's influence, being Sosai's interpreter and helping grow the art. When you first got into the dojo in 2016, what was the most memorable moment you had where you realized, oh, this is not like Shotokan or sport karate?
I know exactly what you mean. In Shotokan you get really indoctrinated that you are able to have the ultimate power punch and blast somebody easily away, but you don't do it. You just stop before the face. But you could because you train so properly, right? And I swear, full power. I was punching my sensei in the sparring, and yeah, got like the first time where I thought really, hopefully I don't knock the Kyokushin sensei out with my super punch, and nothing happened. It was just like sucked away in his body, and that's it. And he kept on punching me, and I was thinking, oh dear, what did I train all the time? Not strong enough. So yeah, and then I thought, then I got really on my. Somebody showed me my borders, or like that I'm not super strong how I thought, and then I stayed with Kyokushin because I could progress.
That makes total sense. That's amazing. So, you're a Shodan or you're a brown belt or a Nidan? Which rank are you right now since 2016?
In I'm Nidan in Shotokan since 2007, so a long time already black belt. In Kyokushin, I changed the organization, so I'm just right now first Q, and I wanted to grade in Japan for Shodan, so I need to wait until I can travel there.
That's amazing. At the end of the day, don't rush it. You have to enjoy the journey, especially with Kyokushin. It's not like Shotokan or Taekwondo. Like, their philosophy of grading and whatnot is much more, it's different. It's more spiritual. And, I read Shian Cameron's book, as you can see when I promoted it, it's a different kind of art. And it really has a way of like grabbing you to stay. Like, I have like two friends that, do Kyokushin, and at times they want to quit, but then it pulls them right back in when they want to. It has a way of making sure you stay on the path of constant improvement and showing up to the dojo.
Exactly, and it was my wish to be really white belt. So I went with when I came to Australia, big self-confidence. I went there with black belt, like it's normal, and it was not in my mind to really become a white belt because they're so experienced, and then I had another mindset, and then it changed. Then from time to time I thought, oh, I want to start all over, and then I went to Kyokushin Dojo in Munich when I was back from Australia, and didn't say anything about my past and my record in Shotokan, and then I wanted to start from zero. Got afterwards the grading for brown belt. I got asked to grade for Shodan in Germany already 2 years ago, but I refused. I said I want to do it in Japan, where I really have people who can also kick me out because they or where I have the chance to fail, because in Shotokan, nobody fails a grading. It's not possible. And my sensei told me exactly the opposite. In Kyokushin, every sensei with a higher grade failed at least one time in a grading. Who he knows, And then I thought, oh, good, because then you get a serious grading where you can be proud of. So I aim to be able to travel, and then hopefully to do next year the Shodan this year, end of this year, the Shodan grading.
I totally understand, because where I live in Canada, we have an organization where one of the Shihans is an extremely accomplished Shihan who really goes by Sosai's teachings, and And he's got so many sandans, so many yondans under him in his organization. It's not just some organization. I'm gonna give a shout out here because I just love what I see coming from them. It's not my organization. I've hosted him on my show, but I like what I see in IKO Nakamura. Like, they make it very authentic, even though you're not in Japan. It's Shian Tats Nakamura, who's in British Columbia, and then Shian Pierre Cataford in Eastern Canada. And it's a very organized and strict curriculum to make sure they are bringing in the right people, to make sure they are grading properly. And I think that says a lot about an organization, because yes, there's the business side of it where they want to get people coming in and they want to give the grades, to keep the students. But if you want quality students, as you were just saying, you have to show them that, hey, failure is going to happen. You're going to fail at one point and you're going to have to do it again to see where you went wrong. And I think that makes the art more true and authentic.
Exactly. So, yeah. And to be honest, I haven't ever been so, it was not my priority to grade a lot. As I said, in 2007, I made the Shodan and Shotokan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards, I thought, what for? Because it took about 1 hour, the grading. I showed 2 katas and 5 Kihon Geko, and one fight took 10 seconds and it was over. And yeah, because they awarded in the old school style, when you rush forward and make like the perfect knockout technique, they award you with Ippon, and then that's it, So I made like 1 punch, 2nd punch, both were boom boom connecting, and then Ippon, that's it. So I thought, yeah, what do I need a grading for? I passed it anyway. So I waited 8 years until I made the Nidan, So, and this was also because it was with my team and stuff. But I also knew I'm gonna pass, so not really interested to do more,
I totally understand that, because in Kyokushin, it takes about 6 hours to do a test. Like, it's not just some like 1 hour. Okay, Ippon. It's like they make you. It's like, I'm sure you've kind of heard the legends from your sensei, or maybe Cameron has spoken about it in one of his Facebook or Instagram lives, since that man is a gem to Kyokushin Karate. But my coach, who you've probably seen in my photos with me, like he to get his knee down, it was like okay, Mo, if I get it wrong, I'm really sorry. I'm just going to paraphrase what he told me. It was about a 7-hour test at night, and it ended at like 2 a.m. They had to do the katas. They did the uras, the pinans, and then they do the fighting. And then it ended at 3, like literally 3 a.m. That's how it works in Kyokushin. Like, they don't want to just be in and out. Like, they want to make sure, like, hey, we picked you for this belt. Let's see if you're really worth it. It's kind of like, I know you're ex-military. I'm sure it's kind of like the Navy SEALs or Germany's. What's the name of Germany's special forces? Like, what are they? What do you guys have?
KSK, but to make this right. So in my trailer, they mentioned, or I should mention, that I wanted, or that that I came to from the dojo via the military to karate. And it was basically like a bit of a show paraphrase, that I told them my whole story. And it was just per destiny that I didn't became a high-ranked military, because I passed all the tests there in the military, and I got already certificate that they took me, but they asked me, either you become a pilot for a jet, or we don't give you you don't get a university degree. So I went into the test for the pilot, and I failed so hardly, because those tests are out of this world. This is crazy. And then I said I refused. I had this position and I refused to say, if I stay there for 13 years, I want to have a university degree. And so they said, yeah, you can come next year. And the next year I was already busy studying sports sciences, so, and then I could make a living out of it. already as a trainer, and when I became world champion in sport karate, so I was motivated to make a living out of it. If I wouldn't have done that, then I would be probably not here, and talk to you. So that's why we made the story.
That's amazing. Now, I like how you said where you said you wanted to be in sports sciences, because that you can take into many different fields. You could become maybe a sports psychologist, maybe maybe like you said, a trainer, amongst other things. Did you look at those options as well? Like where you maybe thought maybe I could be like a motivator in terms of a sports psychologist for like my karate team or any other facet of sports? Is that something you were looking at as well? Because let's be honest, I mean, Germany is a football superpower. So imagine you become a sports psychologist, and then you could take that into being a mental coach or a mental coach for like rugby, football, you name it.
Yeah, the thing was, I was really sure that I will just do that. I do something for a year, do like 1 year of studying, because it was for free at that time, and then you are like with something meaningful, busy, and then go back to the military, because they made just like a mistake to not give me a right position for the right demand, what they need in the military, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want, I just didn't want to waste the year, and then the next year or in this year where I went to, I won the German championships in a sports karate organization, and then they asked me, "Do you want to join the world championships?" I said, "Yeah, sure." And then I went there, won there, and then I thought, okay, now I can make a living out of it. So then it happened to be there, so.
That's amazing. Now, we're both the same age, I think. I'm going to be 30 in November. And, you said you started in karate in 1999. So you were what when you started? Like 7, 6?
I was 8 already. I become 31.
Wow. Okay. So
yeah.
We're about a year off. I'm born in 90. I'm a 91er. You're probably 89 or 90. When we were coming up in our age, UFC and MMA were kind of, it was a fringe sport. It wasn't breaking out yet because it wasn't seen as like a sport. It was seen more as a freak show. But when it started blowing up, and you're from Germany and Europe, who was one fighter that really influenced you to like take karate to the next level and maybe think, I could probably go pro with this someday?
Yeah, so the relation to the pro sports and especially UFC, I feel I'm the only person in the world who doesn't care at all about the UFC. As soon as I saw it, that's why I'm not so sad about the last fight, because as soon as I saw that people who are already dizzy and down actually got jumped on top and then beat them up until they are totally unconscious. And I thought, this is primitive. This is like two monkeys going in rage against each other, This is, for me, nothing I would say, and that's why this pro thing happened to be there. It was not, of course, sometimes you look, I went into the kickboxing a little bit, and for me, the idol have been in the K1 times, of course, but like in the prime time of the K1 league, and especially like in that in the time when Buakau became big. So this is like this stuff I really recognized, but it was for me so far away, and I also didn't realize up until I went to Australia and came in touch with Kyokushin that the Kyokushin fighters were so successful and so strong and could do the transition so good from karate to like serious competitive fighting against the best of the worlds at that time. And then I thought Kyokushin is my thing, So that's why actually like Andy Hook, Nicolas Petters, and those Francisco Filho, those people inspired me. Yeah.
That's amazing. And you know what? So, like if I could reword the question in that case, I should have asked it as like, who are your K1 legends? Because MMA and UFC is not for everybody. But I would say, you know what? That's a good way of looking at it. Because for me, I love Sam Greco. and you were in his countries, Australia. For me, I love Sam Greco, Andy Hug, Globe Feitosa, the famous Brazilian kick, and obviously Fijo. I don't know if you follow him on Instagram, but Ishii Kancho, the founder of K1, like, oh man, thank goodness we have a primary source of history of that era of combat sports, because you see the pictures, you see the videos, and it helps this generation understand what that era was like how that was like the golden era. With, you said, Nicholas Pettis, amongst many others, Ernesto Hust. Like, so those were the legends that you realize, like, wow, like this is my sport.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So all of them who you counted for sure, like this was for me on the same level. They all delivered on a certain way, you know, and revolutionized the whole game. But the person who I personally connect the most is definitely Nicolas Pettis.
Mm-hmm.
This is, for me, it's like he's just like my neighbor, like, you know, Danish Danish anyway, like pretty close to my home. And this journey, what he describes in his book, from the skinny boy to like a serious heavyweight champion. And also this kind of spirit that he went more or less straight from the tatami to this to this K1 league. And yeah, had also problems in the beginning, but also then won the K1 Japan championships. And you know, so amazing character. And I got already personal contact with him, and it seems nice. Like, well, is a nice guy anyway. So, you know, very close to Nicolas. Yeah.
That's what I love about combat sports athletes. They're very humble. They're very humane. It's not like, for example, everyone idolizes, like, say, basketball players, football players, hockey players. They want to meet them, but they have like that, like, ego and aura to them. But when you meet a fighter, it's like, oh my God, this guy's just like me. He's just an average guy. Because, like, for example, I know you don't follow MMA, but there's a league in Poland called KSW, which is like a European MMA league. And one of my former guests, and he's like a mentor for the show, named Sandro, who coaches kickboxing in Montreal, where I'm from, introduced me to Roberto Robocop Soldic. If you have Facebook, for those who have Facebook, if you want to look it up, Drew Michaels, like, if you love combat sports, please add me. If you want, like, if you love MMA, Kyokushin, I'm probably going to blow up. Probably going to blow up. But, you know, add Max2 on all social media. This show's about him. But I met Roberto Soldic, and so humble. It was like, it's like, wow, it's like I'm meeting a pro fighter. It's like I was starstruck. Like, I was like, wow, I can't believe he said, oh, I'll take a picture with you. And this guy's like a badass in Europe. It's just crazy how you can, like, form these connections with these pro fighters.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I usually tell anybody, like you discussed already, who are soccer fans or basketball fans, whatever, that this is such a nice level we have, that even they are more advanced and stuff, and especially in Kyokushin, this mutual respect and this closeness. And also a big point, that when the stars come to the fighting stars come to and teach the seminar, you can also fight with them. This is not everywhere that the master fights with the students, right? They tell you how good they are, but they don't show. But our fighters, they show, they prove, you know. So this is real for me, and this is my aim, that I look for reality, you know, via my karate in my life.
That's an amazing way of looking at it, Max. Like, it's really amazing to see how you look at things. Cause, like, you're just like, you really are like living the open, like, you know, be like water, my friend, as the quote from Bruce Lee comes. So I want to ask about karate combat. So karate combat's been around for what, 2 years? But they don't have any Kyokushin fighters. And I was actually boycotting it, and I was getting mad. I said, why do we not have Kyokushin? It's not a true karate league if we do not have Kyokushin. And I felt there was kind of some, you know, I wouldn't say, I don't want to sound like, I would say there was a bit of, I wouldn't say discrimination, but I felt there's some bias against our style because they understand how aggressive we can be. What made you say, I'm going to be the first one and I'm going to break that door down? What happened exactly?
it happened that I saw the launch of this league. It was out of nothing, right? It was via maybe also YouTube and Instagram, but I saw it via Facebook that it exploded overnight. And I just saw it. I think I have been in half asleep, but I thought, boy, it looks cool. You know, it just looks cool because it was this underground badass style. And I made a commentary. Tell me where I fight anyone anywhere in the world to qualify. Send it to them, you know. And afterwards, you know, they made the first events. My former opponent also joined there from the beginning, and yeah, honestly, I felt some things I just know, and I knew when I saw it that I'm going to compete there. It was for me the logic of my path, because like I said, with the military and stuff, it went so crazy all around. So all my plans or the plans you have in mind went into a totally different direction. So it was for me the logic approach that I come from traditional non-fighting at all karate to point fighting karate to Kyokushin Karate, and now I need to prove. I want to prove, and for me it was normal. It was clear. It was clear from the beginning that I compete there.
That's amazing. And as I said, you are the first one. So imagine, like, you're a trendsetter, you're a pioneer. That's extremely big that's a nice feather in your cap, because you just broke down the door. There are plenty of other competitors in Kyokushin who are ready to find a way to put Kyokushin on the map. And I think this league is the one that's going to do it. Like, we see it happening with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They're trying to make a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu league, or ONE FC is trying to promote Jiu-Jitsu. But with Karate Combat, I really feel that because you're the first Kyokushin, now the floodgates are open. Like, I kind of equate this to, I know you don't follow MMA, but it's kind of like when the Dagestanis, like Khabib Khabib basically came in, and then all the Russians came after. This is how I equate Kyokushin coming into Karate Combat. I think obviously they have to get used to the rule set, because this is not like a typical Kyokushin Kumite rule. There's rules that Karate Combat has that some are going to look at and be like, this is weird, but there's always a way to work around it and adapt. And I think what you've done, Max, is you've opened the floodgates. And how does that feel to you?
Yeah, to be honest, bro, it's in the beginning, it's intimidating, of course, because I know all eyes are on me. I know, especially in Germany, we have a big problem with showing national pride, with showing support, with supporting successful people. This is kind of a disability in my country. And yeah, so I'm not just representing as only German my country, and a whole karate style, you know. So and with a big influence, obviously, with all this views and whatever. And yeah, in the beginning, you know, you get you have a lot of influences from outside in this new atmosphere, and you need to handle that somehow, you know. But now after the second event, oh, I feel more and more calm every day, because the technique gets more secure, the feedback gets better. I talk with you now, you know, and get positive feedback. So okay, but in the beginning, you know, to be the first and only, it's not easy. At least not for me.
It's everybody wants to be everybody wants to be the leader, but no one knows what it truly takes to be a leader and make the and step up when it's needed. It looks good on the outside, but it's a big battle on the inside that you're going through, from what I can understand. So it's tough. Like, you have the pressure, you have to make sure you're representing not only your country, but the art well. There's going to be people that are going to that are doubters, that don't really understand, but then they would never do what you're doing. It's not easy, but but in the long run, do you tell yourself that it's going to be all worth it when it's said and done?
I know that I will win the belt. It's the second thing I know. This is yeah. is like this is this Buddhist mindset you have, or what I developed over the time, that you really create your own reality. And when I make the decision to win the belt, I make sure that it will happen, you know. And at the end of the day, I get everything what I want, and the belt will be the same. But it takes a while. I need to get some experiences. I need to have good training environment, and then what does it take more, you know?
What's speaking of a training environment, what's your nutrition like in terms of like when you're getting ready for fights, or even when you're not in a tournament? Like, do you keep your military discipline where you're always eating, you're very like routine and you're always eating very healthy? Is that a typical lifestyle for you?
Not at all. The thing is, right now, I am, anyway, so I had like big health issues and lost a lot of weight. So it's kind of, now I pump it up, and then you can eat a lot anyway. So I'm like high calorie. I need to supplement a lot, you know. I like yeah, from vitamins to different macros to like high calorie protein and so whatsoever. So yeah, the food here, the good thing is the food here in general in Thailand, I can eat every day for the rest of my life. It's like I love the food. It makes me more healthy to avoid wheat flour, right? So this
Right.
typical bread style and pasta style, I avoid general anyway, and you don't have it here a lot in Thailand. So yeah, therefore, actually, my nutrition is all right, is good, but the overall, I eat what I want to, and this is basically anyway Thai food. So.
That's amazing. Now, you're also like of the Buddhist philosophy. What made you want to? Not everyone says, "Hey, I'm gonna go." Not everybody says, "Hey, I'm going to go live in Thailand and become a monk." It's something like that looks appealing, but then when you see what it's really like, it's a very challenging. It can be challenging because you're giving up your comforts and your routine. What is it like for? How have you adapted to your kind of like your adopted country? Like what has that been like for you?
Yeah, so it was also I did the tattooing from a monk as a counterpart to the samurai, to the warrior,
Hmm.
and it was just for me artwork, and I did it in Thailand here, this tattoo, right? So um, after I had the tattoo already, I found out, I didn't know, that it's normal for a man in my age to go for a temple for a while, you know, to stay there for about, the Thais stay only 1 week or maybe two, um, to, you know, become a good man, and then they are ready to marry. It's like everybody does it. And then I thought, hey, why wouldn't I do that? You know, it was before I fought in the karate combat. But I was too attached to my style and stuff. You know, I had such long hair and a long beard, of course, as well. And this was holding me back. I thought, boy, I cannot look bald. This is like it's not cool. And after my first fight, the qualifier, I thought something is not okay. Something is not working within myself, and I want to get uh, more of a spiritual progression in my life. So I want to develop more, and then I said, now it's the chance. Now I'm gonna go to the temple as well and see what happens. And this was very important for me that I have the most authentic environment as possible. So I came in a good relation with a gym trainer, the gym coach, and he went back to his home village, which was very. I saw it from the Facebook videos and stuff he posted. It's a very suburban village in the Isan, like in the eastern, like poor region of Thailand. So yeah, I used this opportunity and told him I want to be a monk. And he said, but you don't have problems with the police, right? I said, no. I said, you can tell me if you have problems with the police. You need to tell me. I said, no, I don't have any problems. Because he could not understand that I want to go there. That is my will to go there, you know, because it's so exotic for them that that somebody wants to lose his hair, that he wants to give away all his belongings and whatever. So yeah, totally different approach, and I really enjoyed it.
So when you like gave away everything, like, you know, you cut your beard, you cut your hair, you left your belongings, was it like, was there like a fear like that you still wanted to keep it, or did you feel that like once you detached from it, you kind of felt that shift?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. The monks, they have a good, yeah, way of seeing inside people. Let's say analyzing people, but they really give you hints how you could improve in life. And this was one of the first things what the head monk of the temple told me. Don't watch your phone all the time and get rid of the news, and you know, relax your mind. You are not calm enough. And he analyzed it about my the monk seat, right, or like the meditation sitting position where you get one leg on the other one. Very painful for me in the beginning, very painful, because I said, yeah, it's the stiff karate hips, right? So, and he said, no, this is your mind. Your mind is not relaxed enough. You need to work on relaxation, like sabai sabai mentality. And this is exactly the opposite. What is the German way of life? When you say, when you would say to somebody, "Oh, today I'm lazy," then you would be, then you would say, or then you would mean. You don't want to achieve anything in life, you know, like it's very negative. And yeah, exactly the opposite. They want to relax and, you know, clear their mind and be happy. Different.
Mm-hmm. No, very, very true. I understand. And at least, you know, like it's amazing to see the shift you have, because like I believe martial arts does that. And, you know, or religion. I mean, religion is a completely different subject, and that's not what this show is about. But I've seen it on both sides, because I did come from, I didn't say I come from a religious family, but my step family is more observant. You know, they're conservative Jewish. So, you know, with religion, whether you're Christian, Jewish, or Muslim, the doctrine is like, you know, if you're observant, you follow the book, and it gives you direction, and it gives you like a path to follow. It's the same thing with martial arts, but without any deities or gods, you know. So I'm just giving this in layman's terms, just what I think. And I've seen both sides. I tried religion for a bit during a very tough period, and then I tried martial arts. And I stuck with martial arts for a reason, because I just feel it works for me, and it's the community too. I think that's what's amazing about it, like that people need to understand. Like when you get into any form of martial art, whether it's for you it's karate, whether it's yoga, or whether it's any, it's the community that keeps you going, I feel. And that's why community is so important in when you take up a discipline like that.
Very true, very true. Yeah. And for me, Buddhism is also the part of the importance to understand the Asian mindset, which is totally different from the Western part. So I really wanted to understand the essence of martial arts in any aspect. That's why I went there.
Well, that's really amazing. And I really think you've done an amazing job of like really like exploring, and then, you know, finding different like karate styles, like not only like Shotokan and sport, but you went into Kyokushin, which is a big change. And it's kudos to you, because it's not easy, because a lot of people, when they get a black belt, they like to stick with it and they become attached to it. Like, as you said, we speak about Buddhism being attached. They're attached to that. But you basically said, nope, I want to see what else is out there, because there's more than just Shotokan and sport karate. So I really have to say, Max, like you really do. I think maybe you were Buddhist before you became Buddhist, and you just maybe didn't realize it.
Maybe it's the truth of everything what they teach. Maybe, who knows?
Exactly. What is so I've never been to Thailand, but I do want to go there because of Kickboxer, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Very bad representation of but everyone wants to go there, but I just think it's amazing that such a small island produced one of the greatest styles of martial arts. Like, we could say, obviously there's kind of a divide between the Kyokushin crowd and the Muay Thai crowd, but martial arts is martial arts. We got to stop having this one. We got to stop having this style is better than the other. It's like, no, it's like every style is unique in their own way, but it's just amazing how Thailand and, like, say, Japan, two small islands, made some of the most dominant martial arts in history. Like, how amazing does it feel when that you've been to Thailand and then eventually you're gonna go to Japan? How amazing is that to you?
Yeah, so let's start with Thailand. Thailand changed really my life drastically to the betterment, because the thing was what you need to imagine. I was in Australia, had this experience with my punch was just sucked away in the stomach, and then I went to Thailand to vacation. It's like popular when you come from Australia there, and then I saw in a small stadium that regional fight, let's say Wednesday evening, a Thai guy got from another Thai guy a big head kick on the face, like boof. The head was moving, and the sweat was splashing all over, and he just shaked it off and marched forward like this. What? And I pictured myself inside that I would for sure get KO with such a kick. And I said, I need to learn Muay Thai as well. They are also stronger than me. What's happening, And yeah, so the mentality overall is so nice. It's like learning by doing, which has advantages and disadvantages. But like the quality that people like hold for you the pads and get with you in the flow, that you really can go crazy and smash pads with each other, and to also learn like really in depth the fancy stuff which you also can use on the streets, like with elbows and with knees, the real mechanics, how it works, because it's not just that you put somebody out of conscious with one good blow with an elbow. It needs to take more, and yeah. So just interesting is more there. I took more the role of in the beginning, at least, for like a research. I wanted to understand and make a research until I feel ready to fight. That took me way too long. Now I know that it took me way too long. But here I am.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like how you like saw that fight, and yeah, learning by doing. It's amazing, but it doesn't work for everybody. Like some people need to watch more and then do. But some, they're like, hey, throw me into the fire. I'll learn. It's gonna be tough, but hey, that's how I learn. You learn the hard way by doing. And now right now, you're getting settled into karate combat since you signed up. What is the expectation, like not yet, what is the goal you have in, like, say, about a year or so, like, or two, as you progress?
I just focus on make a proper record now and win all of my fights best way to KO, because I really want to engage with my opponents and really want to knock them out, because I did point fighting for so many years. Why should I go there and point somebody out? No, I want to go there to really knock my opponents out. And yeah, so of course you need to get experience how you do that. It's like they're all top level fighters, even like let's say top level fighters, and then and yeah, I need to train, need to come with the right tactics. So I want to win all of my future fights. I have a multi-year contract, so I will stay there for long, and then go for a title shot. What's that? Actually, I don't know if it's a secret, but no, I don't think so. Actually, they asked me already in an interview, what happens if you if you're gonna win, will you call out for a title shot in my second fight? You know, so that's why you can read in between the lines what should happen with me.
I think you're on an amazing trajectory. You know, you are the first pioneer of Kyokushin. So win or lose, I mean, people have to support you because all the other people, like in other organizations that have their top tier Kyokushin fighters, are going to want to look at you and they're going to say, hey, maybe I can do this. And I really think, you know, it said whether you're in any Kyokushin organization, there's like about 20 organizations since Sosai passed away. But I mean, my message is to them, it's like, listen, they need to support you. We need to come together, especially since Hanshi Steve Arniel passed away. Like my goal is like to make sure we can unite no matter what organization. It's the same language with that kanji that Sosai and Shian Cameron have. And that's my ultimate goal. So I really hope, you know, from this conversation, your following grows. So I really hope that, like, you know, like after this, like you start getting like 5,000 followers, then like 6,000, then 10,000, and the other shows that I mentioned. I really hope that they can host you too, such as Martial Way and Kyokushin Shuffle and even KRT, because these are shows that like I really feel will help get you like the brand recognition you deserve. So that's why I'm putting it out there. Like Martial Way, Kyokushin Shuffle, and KRT, reach out to Max because he's one of ours, and we gotta support our Kyokushin brethren, sisters, whatever you identify as, and we will, because this is a big deal. It's a really big deal, and you know, kudos to you. Like I'm really happy that I got to be the first to interview you for this opportunity.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro. I want to say that I also really appreciate everybody who is like gives me differentiated commentaries, like push me, and to have a Kyokushin community in my back is helping so much. I believe me, because you realize that the crowd is like actors, you know, the actors in the crowd. It's not my fans. When you don't have, you know, it would be way more nice if you have like a crowd pushing you live, you know. You cannot, so we can make it digital. So I really, really appreciate the support, and for the future as well, everything. And because you mentioned before Asia and Thailand, so Thailand, the chapter Thailand is actually closed already. But since COVID came, I could not go to Japan. I had a visa for 1 year, like work and holiday visa, so I can work there easily and can stay there for a year without any problems, right? So I just need to wait. And after the last fight, I thought, what can I do? I need to become better. So I will be Uchideshi with Sensei Max Stedik in Moscow. So,
that's a dude. That's big. That you picked one of the best choices. That man is a samurai, Ronin in every way. Like he's one of my favorites. Like that came on KRT. Like I have a very funny story. So Max Dedic is part of IKO. Okay, and IKO is like that's like the most, because like you know how many organizations there are. There's like IKO 1, IKO 2, IKO 3. IKO 1 is the Kyokushin, the one there where Matsui is the head with others. Max Dedic is under that. You picked that's like basically you picking, like you picked the golden ticket to go to Russia, which is a hotbed for Kyokushin. You're going to thrive there. Like you have to tell, now that like we're kind of buddies in a sense, dude, you have to please, like after this show, like when you're there, please send me like photos. Like you got to show me what Russia's like, because I want to visit there. That's like my mother's side, where she's from, my real mom, because my dad got remarried. But like that's amazing. Like Max Dedic, you picked a good one. You're gonna thrive under there.
And also, you know, that's why I tell you some things I just know. And how it happened was I was training here in Thailand, and then somebody introduced me to a girl who said like, hey, this is Del Shoda. She's also karateka. And I said, hi, and where you train, and yeah, then we both found out that we both are in the IKO, and then we talked about that who's the sensei, Max Stelig, and I said, I know him because he made a summer camp last year in Europe, in Poland, and I usually go there, but I was not there at the time. And then we talked about him, and then then she explained me. I wanted to know more and more and more because I knew that. Yeah, that he, if that's the approach, that he can make me in Kyokushin and for the karate combat at the same time, that's the jackpot, you know, because just Kyokushin training and directly on the karate combat pit, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. This is an illusion I want to clarify right now. You cannot, when you're not used to get punched in the head, go there in this fight and get punched with a small glove on the nose, because it breaks and then your game plan is over. Watch my first fight, right? So this is, and to make this this is not even cross training for me. This is real karate. When you say, okay, you fight Kyokushin, it makes you strong. It makes you advanced in your kicks and in general, and the finesse gets you out to implement the head movement, to get really also punched in the hooks to the head and whatever. When I have a sensei like this, who can stop me? You know, and yeah, that's the thing. And then I organize everything by my own. So I asked the Dilshoda if she can like have a, you know, because with such masters, I'm not sitting there self-confident and talk like this. I'm very, you know, very humble in that way. And then said, yeah, can you create contact? And then, yeah, okay, he's interested. And then he texted and made voicemails. And then he said he wanted videos from me. And then I sent him all my videos I have online. Also, fun fact: when you put in Karate Mad Max in YouTube, which I did already 5-6 years ago, then you find first a highlight reel from Sensei Max Stedig, and then a video from me. So I knew Max Stedig before I knew I did even Kyokushin, because I needed to look up my video with this Karate Mad Max word. It was published from another channel. So, you know, and yeah, so it happened to be that he said, oh, Max, don't worry. We work on your strategy. You can punch, you can kick, but most importantly, you have great spirit. You can become a uchideshi. I help you with the visa. All good.
That's amazing, dude. That's so amazing. I'm really happy that you found like you have a new game plan, and I think you're gonna do amazing in Russia. Hard country. It's a very hard country. But listen, you're capable of adapting. And that's what I think is amazing. I think the theme of the show should be willing to adapt and give up comforts in order to find future success. And you're just an amazing example for what martial arts is. And the fact that, you know, that now that I'm back, I was on a bit of a vacation from posting content. I had to take a break. But now that I'm back, like, man, like just like talking to people like you or my past guests, Shian Alain Bonami or Darren and West to honor Han Chiarnio, yeah, we're back, baby. And it's going to be a Kyokushin themed summer and maybe fall. I think, yeah, the show will be more Kyokushin now because I see what it has with whether it's new guests or attorneys. Max, where can people connect with you if they want to follow you or just, you know, ask advice, you know, if they're thinking of going pro? Like, what social media platforms are you on?
Yeah, Instagram, I'm most active. It's connected to my Facebook as well, so it posts the post there as well. But follow me on Instagram and stay tuned for the future, because when I'm in Russia and later and before in Japan, because actually I will be Uchidishi with Shian Arthur as well, and I'm gonna compete in the All Japan Open. So I don't mind if I'm lightweight, I just fight there. I lost every anxiousness and everything, I just fight. I'm now a fighter, a professional fighter, so I can make a living out of it. To just fight, that's a dream. And so I use the opportunity and really go for it. And there I'm gonna create to show sometimes my grandchildren like high quality vlogs, like really with drone and whatever footage, and like, you know, they put really ambition inside, because this lasts forever. So stay tuned.
Exactly. I will. I will. Well, I really want to thank you for taking time to come out, and I think this is going to be a great episode. I'm going to make sure to post it in all my Kyokushin groups, my Facebook, my Instagram, yours too. We're going to get this episode to blow up.
That sounds great, brother, and thank you so much for the interview.
No problem. No problem. Thank you. And remember, guys, like, share, subscribe, comment, and make sure to follow Max, because this man is one of the few. He's a pioneer, and the future is only going to get brighter. As he leads, more will follow.
Us.
Us.